at 10507, a my blood, and there's one of them that's threat motion detector, which I have. And the bums in the wall, they're hanging from the refrigerator and around the kitchen, and then it breaks up, but starts again in the bathroom area. Starts again. And it starts up probably here, wraps around, and then access to the pipe, and they burned my hand about it. So the psychiatrist that's attached to the building, what you might say, why are you here? Well, I have asthma, allergies, chemical sensitivity. I land in this building, and I'm a sick person, and it's on record. And 13 years ago, bloods for having a meth lab, and I've basically been harassed and harmed ever since. My face has scarring on it. It looks like acne. It wasn't acne. And what it is they had sprinkled my apartment, including my coverlet, and they had sprinkled, when you hear a bum, you actually shouldn't be able to hear anyone. It's a bum inside. And the bums also include a wide variety, but you have a black Nazi theme over and over in the bloods. Black Nazi thinks he's going to rule, including Europe, UK, Ireland, and they're just retarded bums. They've been threatening me with rape, including the females have threatened me, including one named Stephanie. She goes to Elizabeth Gregory home in the U District. She's an ugly female with brown hair. She's white, actually. She's a prostitute. She's a heroin prostitute. She's about 5'6". And these bums think they're going to, quote, subordinate me, make me into their subordinate person, and that I would do crimes for them. They also think that on this big weekend, they're going to force me to go to a store and buy alcohol or groceries. The banks have already been told if there's an alcoholic purchase, beverage, or drugs, such as even marijuana, there's a problem. Any unusual spending habits will be interesting and noted. And the bums are extort. One of them was trying to extort. He said I owed him $2,000. There's one of the ugly, retarded people now. And that there likes to break houses. And he brags he has house-breaking tools. He's a rapist. He's a blood. And that is the ugly thing that breaks into houses. He's broken every lock, practically, that I've had that was a significant lock. I usually keep a master lock with a hasp or whatever U-shaped that I have to break into my suitcases. I have to have something not on me, but in one of my suitcases in case I ever had to break in my suitcase. I don't know how to break locks with the house-breaking tool that creep uses. And that ugly fat guy is a rapist. He's about 5'9". He likes to prance up and down Aurora like he's a big guy. He's got a big gut. That's about it. He's also special ed, which one of the traits that you'll see about the gang members is that, and it's not that they disguise themselves in or hidden in housing retarded people. And I'm going to use the word retarded people because it's very fitting. That male probably never worked. All he's done is extort and threaten people like most of the bloods. That psychotic hooker out there, ex-hooker or whatever she is, she's one of the people who have threatened me as well. She used to volunteer. The secret is, in America, they will try to use you in a job if you're psychotic, and practically everybody I see is psychotic. And the psychotic are all psychotic, going off into a bit of a tangent, but these are not normal people that are in the gangs. They are Satanists, they are addicts, they're drunks, they're rejects. They're rejected from everything, and so they thought they could make a lucrative living by black. And definitely they've blackmailed. They have a big plot for this weekend of a breaking plot. One of them bragged that the management would cover up anything on the security cameras and that they wouldn't be seen on the security cameras. They also have a dirty psychiatrist in this building. And by the way, the secret of the psychiatry in the US and psychology is if you have a mental illness, it will be covered up if you're a drug addict or an alcoholic, or if you belong to a special class, such as maybe a race that's been affected. It will be insane. And that's one of America. And that fat, ugly male is definitely a rapist, and he brags that he sees women everywhere. And he brags, that's why I haven't brought anything to my apartment. There was some camping equipment. There were some pans. I've had to take it back. Some of the camping equipment can't even transport on the bus. So, you know, I have storage. They've also tried to get a hold of my storage. When I went to my storage the other day on Roosevelt, by the way, I could smell a urine smell, like many of the people in this building. That's your average gang member, by the way. They are mentally unfit, most of them, and a lot of them will want of urine and fecal. Many of them can't even maintain themselves to obtain toilet paper, even when it's free. You're looking at a mess, a jumbled mess on the table. I have to carry my things, even essential oils, they'll spit into the worst. I can't have anything not sealed in my refrigerator. I have to wash it off. They've been threatening me with plagues, as well as what they dumped into my that disfigured my hand. The psychiatrist's name is Dr. Jaffe, by the way. And I believe fully that he's fully involved in rapes and human slavery. There's a strong racial connotation, and there's a black Nazi, it's a prevalent theme that I've seen over and over, and then moron whites that were reprogrammed. We fell 13 years ago. I was dragged down. There was a fall with Satan. And whether you believe it or not, the moron whites of drug, that are drug addicts and drugs, they just don't care if whites and others are destroyed. These are all child molesters here, and many of them the janitor's closet, including that larval-like thing. He will have an orgasm, according to what I've heard, as he's talking about children and torture. And they are Satanists. They all have blood fetishes. They have fetishes with parts of dead bodies. And they have fetishes about watching people go to the bathroom. The Bloods are very much in on illegal bugging and surveillance and pretending that they are not. They're a group of paranoid, psychotic morons, semi-professional, including semi-professionals such as security guards. Psychotically on Aurora and on the bus, and then I saw, behold, she had a security guard badge, and she was pretending she was a policeman, and for her friends here were pretending she was a caught her. It's an ugly, kind of withered up, meth head looking old lady. It's not just meth. She's probably in on trafficking. They're all in on child trafficking, murder, rape. They're in on identity theft, and not just identity theft to get one or two checks, but full on switching of identity. Maybe the victim's in a mental hospital, and they'll find somebody who will help them put them there, and then they'll play government and cash their check. as usual. A lot of abduction threats and a lot of you owe me threats, including prostitution. Including the girl named Stephanie. She's injected her arm to the point where it's useless on one side, by the way, or useless, and she'll probably have to have an operation because she's injected heroin. And then they'll do something, it'll maybe be fused somewhere, I don't really care. These are that should have been cans and starved to death. They're all sick, and the police will have a fabulous time rounding up all of these people. I'm sure of it. And I predict that most of America will be rounded up, and even if you don't believe in the paranormal, you might say, well, what happened to America? What's really going on? You're going to have them rounded up, basically. Obviously, if you're not a professional, because these bums themselves will turn around and then pretend they're government and they can round up people. And they're dirty, filthy bums that were masturbating inside the wall, talking about wanting their government. It's typical. They also could remove checks from as if they're calling themselves even customs on burglaries. I don't know the proper terms for them, but that is what they are. Or seizure, as if they have a right to seize. There are a couple other rapists of color. There's one that's particularly aggressive lately. I don't know what kind of drugs he's on. He's a red-haired male. He's to be avoided. It's sort of he's ugly. He's got a beard. He's about 5'8", not that tall. Snub nose. And by the way, let me show you the relationship to these people. In the dresser in front of the door, it involves motion detector. That's the relationship I have with these bums. And these bums, everything from anyway and spinal fluid, it means it's physical bum, the physical that's being kept invisible. And Satan chose these bums to do his bidding, and they have systematically destroyed huge amounts of the world, and according to what I hear, 15 planets and some moons. Remember, other planets have moons just as we have, and yes, we have been to the moon. And so I plan to have this camera on all weekend, wherever I'm at. In public, I am harassed constantly. There have been people who have, the Bloods are into illegal surveillance, and, for me to go digging around in a sort of would be on a one is a Hispanic male, and he is 6'7". He's covered in tattoos, on threatening me with rape, has threatened to, quote, birth. So they've also threatened me and tortured me, and Stephanie herself, she's a white female, by the way, she's in on urination. But I've heard other Bloods, like Elizabeth Gregory home, they're in on urination as well, like urinating on the victim or fecal on them. And all these get turned on by, get sexually excited by, fecal, urine, watching go to the bathroom, the bums. And they are lewd and profane. And when the threats start to get heated again, I'm actually going to then turn on the broadcast. Thank you.